Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. This is Dr. Azam. You are watching Talkland. Welcome in glimpses. These days, we are discussing with Asif Khan Sahib his episodes of political imprisonments. He was imprisoned 5 times during his political journey. In the last episode, we discussed his first imprisonment. Today, we are going to talk about his second imprisonment. Sir, welcome in the program.
Uh, Thank you very much.
So,
My second imprisonment was very unique in a sense that first time in Pakistan's political struggle, say after Ayub Khan movement against Ayub Khan's martial law, tyrannical rule. The second big movement was launched during Ziaul Haq era, and that was MRD movement, Movement for Restoration of Democracy. As I told you in my previous interview, that MRD was created in 1981 February at the place of Khurshid Kusuri's father, Mahmood Ali Kusuri, late Mahmood Ali Kusuri. He was a founder member of Pakistan People's Party and later on he joined Tehreek-e-Istiqlal. And MRD was created at his residence in 1981. And the movement launched for the restoration of democracy, that was in 1983, August. It started earlier, but peak period was August. And this was a very massive movement, first movement, as I've said to you, after Ayub Khan's era. And that was just for the restoration of democracy, restoration of constitutional rule, the restoration of 1973 constitution, and to get rid of Zaul Haq. Unfortunately, this movement became more popular in Sindh, especially in the rural areas of Sindh. And Sindhis suffered a lot, but Punjab also played a very significant and important role in this struggle. Throughout Punjab, the political workers participated in this movement. They quoted arrests and they were very active in this movement. But as I've told you, Sindh was ahead. Sindh it became more violent and more aggressive and more offensive, and there was a lot of suppression in Sindh. Helicopter was used, gunship, battles were gunship, helicopter was used, and people were tear gassed and they were killed. A lot of many people were killed also there in the MRD movement, and many arrests took place in Sindh. But in Punjab also, many people quoted arrests and took part in this movement. The political workers, they took lead in this movement. And during this moment, there was a very emotional letter from Begum Nusrat Bhutto because she was leading Pakistan People Party. She was the chairperson at that time. Benazir was not in the main role, and she wrote a letter to all political workers of Pakistan People's Party and MRD, especially to addressed to the Pakistan People's Party office bearers and workers, that this is a very crucial time and this is a very important time, and you should take part in this struggle, this movement. You should come out from your houses. You should come out in the streets and quote arrests and start movement against martial law rule. And because this was a call, and I was part Pakistan People's Party office bearer, as well as an elected vice president of Cantonment Board Sargodha, and that was also due to my affiliation with Pakistan People's Party. On the panel of Awam Dos, I won that election. So I was morally bound to take part in this movement, and I took part in this movement. I participated in this movement. I organized this movement. I was many main leaders got arrested, and I went underground. And from underground, I launched this movement by hiding in different places of Punjab. I launched this movement. I mobilized workers. I mobilized political activists to go to rest, to come out in the streets, and to come out against the tyrannical rule of Ziaul Haq. And many courted arrests on my direction, and finally I also courted arrest in Sargodha.
So okay, it was your second arrest. So when did this happen, and how much time had passed since your first arrest?
It was almost 2 years, less than 2 years. But before quoting the rest, I held a press conference at Lahore at Party House. And Party House was considered to be a nerve center of political activists at Lahore. And I held a press conference there, and I told them that I am resigning from my office as a Vice President Cantonment Board on the direction of Mohtarama Nusrat Bhutto, the co-chairperson and presently the leader of Pakistan People's Party. And on her direction, I am resigning from my post, and I participate in this movement. And finally, I court arrest, but I organize this movement fully. I support restoration of democracy, restoration of constitutional rule. This was my clear-cut message in the press conference. After that, I went hiding, and I courted arrest in August, 14th, 15th of August, in Kachari Bazaar, the most popular and prominent bazaar of Sargodha, at People's Chowk, that is a main chowk of Kachari Bazaar, and most of the bazaar of Amin Bazaar, Karkhana Bazaar, all there is a triangular, it's a center place. I courted arrest there, I was arrested, and I was taken to Thana in police station, Sargodha City.
Okay, so it was not a surprise. You courted arrest yourself. So it means you are prepared this time already mentally. And so, did other party workers also court arrest along with you? Who were they?
A direction was to court arrest singly, or if you have 2 or 3 workers, they can also court arrest. But as I've told you, in Punjab, the movement was less, it was not that strong as in Sindh. So we wanted to linger on this moment, and we wanted that individually workers should court arrest, and this movement should continue for some time. So at that time, many workers came, they clapped and they shouted slogans, but finally they didn't court arrest. I was myself only to court arrest at that time.
All right. So, how did the police treat you during this second arrest?
They physically manhandled me. They took me in a jeep and they took me to the police station. And they hurriedly did that. That this movement should not get more popular, and people should come to know little about that movement. So they hurriedly, when I came to court arrest, they hurriedly took me away in the jeep and they took me to the police station and charged me under martial law regulation for violating different sections of martial law.
Okay. So, after keeping you in the police station, then were you transferred to the jail? And which was this jail? And was it the same as the during your first imprisonment?
Yes, as my home district was Sargodha, they took me to the major. He was in charge of the summary court trial there, and they took me to the major, and then he sent me to the prison. And my prison was Sargodha district. I was confined there in Sargodha, and later on, with other political workers, we were shifted to Shahpur district jail. That was also called district jail because previously Shahpur was a district headquarters of Sargodha. Before formation of Sargodha, Shahpur was a district, and that is a very renowned and notorious jail. It's an old jail with kacha bricks and walls, and we were confined there. After a few days, we were shifted from Sargodha to Shahpur.
Okay. And during your second arrest, how long they put you in custody? They kept you in custody?
Uh, I was there for more than 3 months, slightly less than 3 months, and our trial took place, and that trial was in military court. I just want to correct you that we were shifted later on back to the Sargodha jail when our trial was started, and weekly we were produced before the major and the summary court trials. And he normally did not continue the trial. He just gave us date and another date of appeals.
All right. So, did you tell your family beforehand that you are going to court arrest?
This time it was the news because I had a press conference. I resigned from my post as a vice president of Cantonment Board, and that came in the newspapers, in the radio at that time. And so it was known to everyone that I'm going to court arrest and I'm going to be in prison. So my trial took place in Sargodha, and it kept on for about more than two months.
Okay. How did your family react to the second arrest? Was this arrest harder or easier for your family to accept?
Sargodha jail, I want to just tell you at that time now it has been reconstructed. New barracks have been created and it has been renovated. But at that time, it was in a very bad shape and it was a very bad sanitary arrangements and there were no working and running water there and no toilets and latrines. It was in a very bad shape. And that experience was really bad. And the most torturous thing that we were produced weekly before the major, and he was very arrogant and very fancy, and he just saw us and then uh, gave us date for another appearance. And we were brought before him early in the morning, and we were produced before him in the afternoons. We had to sit in the Bakshi Khana. The Bakshi Khana is a place where the prisoners are brought before appearance to the magistrate. And that was also a very bad experience. But in a sense that it was slightly better in a sense that we became used to going, meeting people and seeing people around. And we were not allowed to meet them, but we could see that people were moving around, and most of our known people they came and they wanted to get closer to us. And luckily, we were provided our home food at that time. That we managed ourselves with the constant of the people who were guarding us, and we used to have food of our home before being produced before the major.
Okay. So, did your missus understand what was happening and your children? I think children were too young at that time. They might be 1 or 2 years, 2, 3 years old.
The kids were very young; they couldn't imagine, they couldn't visualize what is going on. And but my wife and my sisters, my brother and my parents, they were realizing what I'm going under, and they knew what was being happening to me. And finally, we had a very good experience, and because we are being produced weekly, in that sense, it was good that we used to come out from the jail on a weekly basis. But it was a torture in a sense that we were in jail and sorry, we were in chain and both hand both hands were handcuffed, and we were produced before the major. And when we were second, third, fourth appearance, I told the major that remove my handcuffs, and then I talk to you. And then he finally allowed to remove one of my hands. I told him that you continue with your proceedings, you charge sheet us, you give us imprisonment, whatever you want. But this is very torturous and this is very bad and very insulting and very painful that you give us date every week and we come here and without having any charge sheet, anything to talk with you, and then we are taken back, and this is very painful for us.
Your hands were cuffed and you had chains in your feet, is it?
Not on feet, but both our hand, we had both our handcuffs,
Okay. So
and, and
police held the chains.
that was also very torturous. And, it was very hard to take food and to take anything by your mouth. But when I came to the major, I told him that you remove my one, both my handcuffs, but he allowed to remove one. And then I talked to him that this is very bad. This is against human rights. It's against constitution. You are trying to torture us. You call us every week, and you don't charge sheet us. It's better you give us sentence that we should go back and we should be satisfied mentally now to reach sentence, and we're going to lead an imprisonment.
All right. So, did you meet other political workers in jail this time?
Yes, we were in jail. Our one cell that was very hardly 10 to 12, 10 to 12 feet. We two or three persons were there. We could hardly sleep properly and without any toilet. And we were kept in two or three prisoners in one cell. And cell was in a very bad shape, as I told you. It was an old jail, and the roofs were leaking, and the mud was coming from the walls. It was an old jail built during British time, during 1906 and 7, and it was in a very bad shape. It was not repaired, and we were in totally in a very bad position in that condemned cells.
Okay. So, what kind of conversations did you have with other prisoners?
Because we were provided with a very bad food there. That was ordinary dal and badly cooked, and chapatis were in bad. So anyhow, we managed to have our food cooked by ourselves, and so most of the time was spent by cooking our foods. And then we were fond of, as I told you in the previous year, we were fond of reading. We got books somehow or other. Books were smuggled. We used to read books, and somehow or other, transistor was also smuggled. We used to hear BBC. Sad Bean was very famous at that time, Urdu program of BBC. We used to hear those news, and we used to get news what is going on in Pakistan and how the art movement is being carried out.
Usually, the time in prisons is tough, hard, sad. So, uh, was there anyone among your fellow prisoners who would put some smile on your faces by telling jokes or doing something funny?
Most of our workers were young at that time, and we became used to it. Most of them had the second, third experience at that time. So we were acclimatized, and we were determined that we will confront these troubles and we will face them boldly and gallantly. And as I've told you, we were committed ideologically, we were committed, dedicated, and loyal to our party and our cause. So these hardships hardly mattered to us, but they were, as I told you, everything was in a very bad shape in the jail. I could see the other prisoners and the condemned prisoners and how they were treated, maltreated, how they were insulted, and they were really in a terrible shape.
Okay. Did jail life feel different this time compared to the first arrest, or was it the same story?
It was almost same. The period was same. It was Ziaul Haq, and Ziaul Haq at his peak period. He was at his peak period. We were not facing any challenges. Though MRD movement brought a little shock to him, he was a little bit shaky, but he was still strong. The army was behind him, and the political parties were weak, and the movement was only strong in one province of the country. So the conditions were almost same, and the atmosphere was almost same as in the first time.
Okay. Did anyone try to negotiate your release, or had you asked your family and friends not to make efforts for your release?
No, that efforts were in a case it was useless, and we knew those efforts were futile, and we knew that they can't keep us for a long time, because that was not possible to keep prisoners for a long time. Although I've told you the army rule was quite strong, but there was a little bit moral pressure on them, a little bit pressure internationally also for the restoration of democracy, for restoration of human rights. So they were morally under pressure. And we knew that for a longer period they can't bound us to prison. Finally, they will release us.
Okay. So, how are you finally released this time?
Then, when the moment was fizzled out is a hard word, but it was completely under control of the martial law, and the situation became normal in Sindh after a lot of suppression and killing of political workers and a lot of arrests in Punjab. The government got more contented, more satisfied, and they thought there is no other challenge. There is no challenge from the political workers, from the political parties. So they became a bit lenient, and they provided us with leniency, and they released us finally.
Okay. So, can you recall the exact year or month when you were arrested this time?
It was in August, and then we were finally released in later October.
In 1980?
Three.
1983. Okay. Looking back now, what does this second arrest mean to you?
That was quite educative, and although the movement couldn't succeed, that was the first movement, as I told you, after Yukon against martial law and tyrannical rule. The movement didn't succeed. We didn't get our objectives. But the positive factor was that people got our slogans became popular, and people got acquainted with MRD. They realized that there are certain political parties who are making struggle for the restoration of democracy. To some extent, it was a step forward, but we couldn't achieve our main objective for restoration of democracy.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have discussed the story of second imprisonment of respected Asif Khan. And in the coming episodes, we will discuss the third, fourth, and fifth episodes as well. And we will also discuss many other interesting topics, including his companionship with the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf and Shaheed Bhutto Foundation and Liberal Forum. So, see you in
Fatal
the,
illness.
yes, his fatal illness is a serious illness, and see you in the next episode. Until then, thank you very much.
ठीक है सर, ठीक है, recording.
जी सर, बेहतरीन.